Hi, I'm John Mahalik, and I'm the owner of Guerrilla Productions and the author of How to Network Your Way to the Top of the Music Business. And I have a question for you. How do you go from an unknown local group to becoming one of the biggest acts in your hometown? Well, this is something that I've learned, and I'm going to teach you this secret. I'm also going to teach you 3 real strategies that will change your music career forever. I'm going to tell you how I took a group that had never played out before and found a way to get over 750 people to come to their first show. So let's first start by talking about what I know about local groups. The average local group has been together 2 years, has 12 to 15 songs, and rehearses about twice a week for 2.5 hours. They play out about once or twice a month, and they get about 30 people out to each show. About 70% of all local groups do not have a record out, and the few that do have sold less than 50 units. Most groups do not have any merchandise and believe that the best way to promote their group is through flyers and print ads. If this sounds like your group, then here's the truth. You don't exist to the rest of the world outside of your friends and family. Unless your music is getting played on the radio and you're selling thousands of units, your group is no more well-known today than it was the day it formed. That's a fact. Here's another truth that you need to understand. If you don't have a record, then people are not coming to see your group because of your music. I don't mean this as an insult. I'm not saying your music is bad. What I'm saying is, how can they be coming to your concerts for the music if they haven't heard it before? The fact is, most people do not go to local shows for the music. Understand this. And your next show may have 10 to 20 times more people than your biggest audience you've ever played for. The reason people go to local concerts is to have fun. That's the only reason. To have fun. They can't be coming for the music if they've never heard it before. Well, guess what? That's okay. It's okay because now you know why they're coming. And this information can help you to bring more people to your shows, and eventually you'll be able to convert them into fans. So what makes a show fun? Well, I'm going to tell you. A packed venue. That's what makes a show fun. So how do you get people to come to your show if they haven't heard your music and they don't know if they're going to have fun? The truth is, you have to create demand. And here is the secret to promoting your group and your shows. Are you ready? Okay. You don't exist, right? So if you don't exist, then there's only one way to promote, and that is to increase the size of your social circle, or what I call networking. It's the only thing that will work. If your group's not on the radio or selling thousands of records, then you don't exist to the rest of the world. And frankly, you can't promote something that doesn't exist. It can't be done. You can hang up 100,000 flyers all over your hometown, post them on every telephone pole, take a full-page ad out in the local newspaper, but no one knows who you are. So how's it going to get anyone to come to your shows? Flyers don't work unless people already know who you are. Let me tell you about a group I was in back in the late 80s called The Act. I was in a group with Richard Patrick from Nine Inch Nails and Filter. For our first show, we started flyering like crazy. We hit every coffee shop, record store, music store, anywhere that would let us hang our flyers. Then we went around to every concert that had an alternative rock band playing, local or national. But no one was interested. Our first week, we would go up to people at these concerts and we'd ask, would you like a flyer? Do you want a flyer? Talk about rejection. No one wanted a flyer. Even if they would take a flyer, we'd find it in the garbage a few moments later. 5 or 6 shows in a row, we would ask, do you want a flyer? Everyone would say, no, no, no thanks. Then, I stumbled across what I believe is the right way to flyer, which isn't flyering at all. It's networking. A flyer is a tool to talk to people about your group. We stopped asking people if they wanted a flyer. Instead, we would make eye contact with someone, Then we would say hi, and then we would point to our flyer. We would start telling them about our group. We'd put the flyer in their hand, continue telling them about our group, and then something amazing started happening. Everyone walking out of the concert behind these people would want to know what we were passing out. Seeing other people interested made them interested as well. It created demand, instant demand. Everyone wanted a flyer. The same exact flyer that weeks before were avoided like the plague. Here's where it gets really interesting. We went out to so many concerts and promoted our group so often that we started seeing the same faces over and over again. We would hear people saying things like, "Oh my God, it's them again. Okay, let me see that flyer. What's going on? When's your show?" That's networking. You can't get anyone to come to your shows by putting a flyer on a telephone pole, but you can get a lot of people to come to your shows by using flyers as a networking tool. Now, you know how to network. You need a catapult event to grow your group from 0 to hundreds of fans. A catapult event is a show where you appear to be a bigger band than you actually are. The trick is to have hundreds of people there at a packed venue so that afterwards people talk about it and buzz happens. Most of the groups I consult tell me that they play 2 shows a month for exposure. This is a huge mistake. Ask yourself this: would you rather play for 30 people every 2 weeks, or would you rather work your asses off and play for 500 or more people? If you play for an average crowd of 30 people, no one is going to be talking about you. There will be no buzz, and you'll be known as the band that can draw a few dozen people, friends and family, to your shows. But one big catapult event, and your friends, family, and even strangers will start telling everyone they know how awesome of a band you have, that you just played out a sold-out show. This creates more interest and more demand for your group. The energy is contagious. Our first show, we networked for 4 months. And although we never played out before, we had over 750 people at our first show. So if you start networking and you play a catapult event, then you might be asking, okay, what's next? Well, you need to plan ahead. You have to have your next show already booked. But don't promote it. Don't promote it until the night of the first show, the catapult event. There are 2 extremely important rules for promoting shows in your home market. Rule number 1, you cannot promote 2 shows at the same time. If you do, half your fans will come to one show, the other half will come to the other show. Never split your crowd in 2. Okay, rule number 2, it takes 6 weeks to promote a show successfully. So if it takes 6 weeks to promote a show properly, and you cannot promote 2 shows at the same time, then all of your shows in your home market have to be 6 weeks apart. Here's the proper way to promote your group locally. Promote the first show with all of your efforts. Try to get everyone there you possibly can. Your goal is to get over 100 people there. Then have your next show confirmed with the promoter or the club. But do not announce it, not until the night of the first event. At that show, have tickets ready for sale at your merch booth, distribute flyers to every person there. Then the next morning, add that show, your next show, to your networking sites, and then start networking all over again. That hard work will pay off, and you will become one of the biggest draws in your area. I'm John Mahalik. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.